Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to the Sweet and Sour Report, your official Angry Marks Wrestling tabloid podcast, sharing all the latest in news that may or may not be complete and total bullshit. This is your host, the Quintastic One, on behalf of the Angry Marks Podcast Network. The theme song for this show is by Battle for Kira. You can check them out on Soundcloud or like them on Facebook by just searching for Battle for Kira. Without any further ado, let's dig right into some of the most bizarre news and rumors you'll hear only here on the Sweet and Sour Report. Word has come in that Jack Swagger's recent DUI conviction in February did not lead to a suspension, as normally expected for wellness policy violations, because he was not actually high. The police merely mistook him as under the influence when Swagger was visibly upset at the idea of them pulling him over and very audibly exclaimed, "Do I look Mexican to you?" Normally, this wouldn't be a problem in the state of Mississippi, but unfortunately, the acting officer who conducted the routine stop was of Spanish descent. It is clear that when it comes to keeping character, Jack Swagger's got this one down pat. However, in a related news story, the weed that was found in Swagger's car is rumored to actually belong to one Kofi Kingston. Swagger was said to be trafficking the weed on Mr. Kingston, as it was meant to be given to WWE Creative before the following episode of Raw. Due to the confiscation of evidence by the local police, Kingston's shipment was delayed until just this past Monday on Raw, which would explain his sudden United States Championship victory over Antonio Cesaro. In light of Triple H's expected response to Brock Lesnar tomorrow night on Raw, there appears to be some desperation going on at WWE HQ, as Vince McMahon has been begging his son-in-law to throw in at least one dick joke in his response to Brock Lesnar's Steel Cage Challenge. Triple H has been purposely avoiding his typical potty humor style, as he is trying to maintain an air of seriousness with his feud with Brock Lesnar. But Triple H may yet still cave to the whims of the WWE chairman, as Vince has threatened that if he doesn't hear a dick joke from Triple H soon, that he may just perform another hospital sketch live on Raw, with many distasteful references to Jim Ross, his own rectum, and the British Prime Minister. It is in this correspondent's humble opinion that I have two words for the situation: my God. As it turns out, CM Punk may not be preparing for a future face turn after all, as his cliffhanger segment was not meant as some sort of humbling moment for the former WWE champion, but rather it was an awkward situation where CM Punk had forgotten his next line and left the arena in shame. Paul Heyman was visibly confused, as could be seen on camera. As they cut away from him, certain fans were able to pick up on the hard microphone that Heyman asked a nearby cameraman, "Was that supposed to happen?" Sources close to Punk, including his official scriptwriter, Brad Maddox, exclusively informed us here at Sweet and Sour that Punk hadn't drank Pepsi since his loss to The Undertaker, and his subsequent quitting of soda cold turkey has unfortunately prevented him from delivering Brad Maddox's scripted pipe bombs with any conviction or realism. What this means for the future of Punk, nobody knows, but we will keep you updated as this story develops. In other news, a horrible accident was reported in the parking lot outside of the arena in Greenville, South Carolina, as paramedics were called to the scene to help untangle a young man in his early 20s who had apparently trapped himself in a pretzel-like formation after taking advice from his hero, Mr. Fandango Johnny Curtis, when he believed that Mr. Curtis had instructed him to go Fandango himself. Not word on exactly how he was able to get in the pretzel shape in the first place, but surely this means that you will see many Harlem Shake-style videos showing young adults fandangoing themselves in a similar fashion. Representatives of YouTube have disclosed that they may consider banning these videos as adult content, as nobody is quite sure how the hell you fandango yourself in the first place. And finally, a backstage Donnybrook took place during a WWE house show this week, as WWE superstar The Big Show was absolutely furious after he came back from his scheduled match and discovered that the entire catering table was cleared of food. Sources say he immediately threw accusing eyes in the direction of Mark Henry, Brodus Clay, Sweet Tea, and even the Great Khali. But he didn't have to look far, as sitting at a table not too far from the big men was none other than Ryback. Surrounded by empty trays and plates, the Ryback was impatiently flailing his arms as he demanded that somebody feed him more. Obviously not appreciating his lack of courtesy towards his fellow superstars, the Big Show confronted him and all hell broke loose. Sources say that these kind of problems have been happening for weeks, and WWE is having a hard time finding a solution that satisfies the appetites of these fat fucks. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for the Sweet and Sour Report this week. This is the Quintastic one saying, until next time, stay just Quintastic.